The brands that live inside our fridges. Instantly recognisable dairy foods, they proudly wear their British farm credentials, and we consume them in vast quantities. All are connected to the fate of the Cerrado, this pristine Brazilian forest, species-rich and carbon dioxide absorbing, the world's most biodiverse savanna, is being destroyed to make cattle feed. This scarred and charred landscape 5,000 miles from the UK is feeding us.
Well, people aren't really aware of necessarily that their cheese has deforestation in it, and I think when people find that out, they're really shocked. And the reason why it matters is because these forests that are being destroyed are critically important for our climate and for kind of planetary health. If we don't have those forests, then our climate will tip into, kind of chaos.
An investigation by ITV News, the Bureau of Investigative Journalism and Greenpeace Unearthed has linked the destruction of vast tracts of Brazilian forest with UK dairy products through soya, the protein-rich cattle feed supplement. The UK imports around 2.6 million tonnes of soya for animal feed each year. That's the weight of more than 5,000 jumbo jets. Nearly 30% comes from Brazil, some of it from the Cerrado. We found Cargill, one of the world's largest food conglomerates, is sourcing soya from recently deforested land that in turn finds its way to the UK. British farmers believe they are buying sustainably sourced soya, but our investigation found it's a murky world lacking in transparency, where certified soya is mixed with beans from deforested farms.
No farmer wants to see the deforestation.
Land's End in Cornwall seems a world away from Brazil. Like dairy farms up and down the country, James Warren mixes soya into his cattle feed. He's worried about its impact on the environment.
The deforestation, we can't sustain that's not sustainable. And sustainability is what I want, is what everybody wants. But it means if we work together and to change, that's the way forward. Yeah. But it needs everybody, from the sort of from the source through to the supermarkets to the consumer, all working together.
Cow's milk ends up in a variety of foods, from chocolate to cheese and butter. There are likely to be more products, but these are the ones we've connected to deforestation. Their labels don't mention it. So we set up stall at Chelmsford's Market and asked shoppers what they made of the connection between the products they buy and killing off tropical forests.
They're not thinking of the future, are they? They're only thinking of now.
What else am I going to give them? Toast, but then you can't have no butter. So then what do I feed my kids?
Would it worry you that we've been able to make a connection between these products and deforestation in Brazil?
Yes.
Why?
Because it won't affect me, it won't affect my grandchildren and my great-grandchildren and their children. There's a knock-on effect.
For many, the issue of deforestation stretches beyond illegal activity. More than half of the original Cerrado forest has been lost, and with private landowners here still permitted by the state to destroy forest for farming, I suggested to a senior official at the Brazilian Environment Ministry that they had a problem.
The Forest Code allows for rural landowners to suppress a certain amount of vegetation.
But you are still chopping down trees in order to grow soya, and that is unpalatable to many people.
It is occurring in areas where they are allowed to happen. This is my point.
So you have fundamentally, because it's law, you have no issue with it.
Yeah.
Dairy products are at the heart of our food chain, with milk production the driving force. But with cows fed on a diet linked to deforestation, we are eating into planet-saving forest to fulfill the human need for food.
And Rupert is here to talk about all this. Let's begin with what the companies have to say in response.
OK, well, look, we recognise a lot of those names, don't we? But the companies behind them are less familiar to us. Saputo, for example, they produce Cathedral City cheddar, Country Life butter and Clover spread. They say that from early next year, farms that supply their Davidstow creamery must source feed with a sustainable soy purchasing policy. They say by buying credits, they directly support producers who cultivate sustainably. Arla, they make Anchor butter, and Cravendale milk say they're taking steps to manage soy responsibly and also buy credits. Mondelez own Cadbury's and say eliminating deforestation is critical. Their suppliers are expected to ensure 100% deforestation-free feed by 2023. And Cargill, they're the US-based food giant, say that they take this type of grievance against their suppliers very seriously, and if violations are found, they will take immediate action.
Look, these are all household names. We're all buying and consuming. What do you make of this in the round?
So a lot of this is about the supply chain issue, and actually Asda mention it. They say to us, they've told us they're committed to reducing food production linked to deforestation and working with milk producers to ensure all their soya is certified by 2025. But they point out the supply chain is extremely complex, and they're right. This is where it becomes very murky. It's a long way from Brazil to here, and there's a lot of elements in the chain that allow for certified and uncertified soya to get mixed together.